Hey, yo.
Back hero.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
Boom. I pressed the record button.
Oh, when?
Want to check? Just not, literally just now.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
We in there.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. I actually meant to press.
Oh,
The
okay, there we go. Welcome to the SwordCast episode 164. We got some good stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about what we're into, of course, like we always do, like we've been doing for 163 previous episodes.
Yep.
All-In. Wembley Stadium yesterday. Weird start time, 1 p.m. because they were in the UK.
Yeah, we shout out to the UK SwordCast, but boy.
Yep.
See, bro,
forgot to.
That's the reason why I'd love to get into Premier League soccer more, but I either gotta wake up at like 9 in the morning to watch shit, and by that like either I'm at work or like fucking
it's tough.
Shout out to Arsenal.
So we talk about some wrestling and talk about Ahsoka, man. Those first 2 episodes, boy. And then
whoops, sorry, wrong one. I meant to hit the. There you go. Because I liked it. It was not trash.
As you guys know, we've done the action movie character tournament. Shout out to John Wick who won that. It goes over I almost said Rhea Ripley. Goes over Ellen Ripley in the championship of that. Shout out to John Wick. Then we did the video game, the adventure game, video game character tournaments, and it was our guy Jin Sakai, the GOAT, going over Solid Snake.
That was a very
good matchup, good tournament, in the video game tournament. So. 2 tournaments, 2 great winners.
Yeah,
John Wick and Jin Sakai. You know what we should do? We should do a bunch of these, and then we should take all the winners, and then we should do a tournament of champions.
Yes, sir. I was thinking the same thing.
So the next one that we're gonna do, to everybody that's listening in the Discord, we're gonna do sci-fi movie characters, and we're gonna so we always do the seating kind of off air behind the scenes, and we're gonna do it. We're going to do some of it on there. We're not going to do all of them, but we're going to just talk about it and try to knock out some of the seeds on the show too. So,
yep.
So with that said, what are you into currently, my friend?
I have been into a couple of things. I've been into fitness, been working out. We started a wellness dojo section
on the Discord.
Yeah, SwordCast Discord. I'm actually so this is Monday. I was actually going to put my workout schedule or my workout results in there today.
I love it.
So we did the 20-minute bully juice cardio. Boom. Then I did a 20-minute bully juice is just he's like a dude on fitness guy, black dude. obviously in great shape. He looked like he probably was like a track or like football guy because you could tell he's kind of short. He one of them short like chest and arm ass niggas, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Right. One of the nigga be walking around like this, like, but like not showing off. Like that's actually how his arms
his
work.
real posture.
Yeah, but he's cool though. He's I be trying to support the black folks, and he's not like a elitist. You know
it sounded like you said I'd be trying to support the blacks.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, his stuff is pretty good. I also like Athlean X, who somebody already posted. That guy's really he was a former like MLB trainer. And he does a good job of like cutting through the bullshit because there's a lot of really kind of crappy elitist gym like fitness people out there, and he's like, yo, this shit is trash. Like don't do that. Do this instead.
Right.
And then I did the arm blast for Bully Juice, 20 minutes, and then I did 30-minute incline walk at 20-minute pace. My autocorrect like knows because I've been doing this with my sister as well because my sister's super dog. My sister's about to turn years old, but she fucking looks great. And so context is that my sisters are significantly older than me, both of them by over 10 years. They both look great. My sister, who's a doctor, she's also like really into fitness and into the way that this is so fucking dope, dog. I mean, obviously I love my sister, so I'm gonna big her up, but the way that she describes her wellness journey is some of the most badass shit I've ever heard. She calls it her search for immortality. Love it. That's hard, bro. Like, I am going to live forever because I'm doing this shit, which is fire. I love that shit. So I do this with her as well. That's fire. Then I did my treadmill. So I've been working out for already. I've had over an hour of like intense fucking activity today. So I feel good
Proud
about
of you,
that.
Man.
Preach. So yeah, that's what I've been into. Got to keep it up, man. Trying to get back into basketball shape. I'm not gonna make the mistake I made last year, which is like
trying to use basketball to get in shape.
Can't do it, bro.
Not gonna be able to.
You gotta be in shape.
Yeah, I would love to play
basketball.
Cause and then I also spent like 20 minutes shooting outside here today earlier this morning. So like the shooting is still there. The handle is, I need to definitely like, the handle is quick to go if you don't practice it like consistently.
Yeah.
So that's going to take some time, but I just like, my fear is that if I go out there and I'm not like already in good enough shape because of the way that I like to play and like my body remembers doing things at a high level. Like I wasn't just out there bullshitting.
Yeah, no, that is exactly why you can't use the sport to get in shape.
I can't just be up there running up and down and
going to explode.
Gotta make a good pass.
Going to explode.
Well, no, like it would be easy. So again, this is gonna sound like really arrogant, but like nigga, I played college basketball. That happened. Like that's a real thing. So like it would be different if I was just some random dude that's like, hey, I just want to run up and down, make a good pass, set a screen, throw up a bullshit 3-pointer every now and then. And just kind of be happy and kind of, hey, just shoot the shit. Hey, how's work going? You know, one of them niggas. Like, nah, bro. Like, when I go out there to hoop, like, I'm trying to kill y'all niggas, bro. So, like, I am unable to enjoy the process if I'm not doing the stuff that my body remembers doing, which is like, I'm finna come off this screen and I'm gonna pump fake and I'm gonna take 2 dribble pull up, right? Or I'm gonna... You know what I'm saying? Catch the ball on the baseline, rocker step, baseline, 2 dribble, power layup.
Facts.
My last 2 years of college, that was a dunk, nigga. Y'all, bro, I used to slam dunk that bitch. What y'all talking about, bro? What do you mean? Look, left, swing the ball top of the key to the wing, deep wing though, not like kind of almost to the corner. Rocker step, which is the kind of like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Rocker step to the baseline, 1 dribble, power gather, 2-hand slam dunk. I used to do that shit regularly in practice. Like, stop playing with me, bro. So, like, obviously, I don't know that I'm going to get back to that point, but, like, just being able to do the techniques and, like, play ball at the level that you want to play. Like you can't just roll out of bed and do that shit, or you at our age you'll get hurt. And I'm just like, and getting hurt at our age can like it can really jeopardize your like
regular life.
I mean, yeah, you dealt with that a couple of times,
man.
So.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I've been into.
Ooh, I love it. Welcome to the. I love the fitness channel on the Discord too. That's cool, man. I'm here for that.
Agreed.
Everybody inspiring everybody motivating each other. Everybody kind of helps you hold yourself accountable, and I like it. It's dope. Me, I've been I've been just watching movies like I always do. I've been watching a lot of sci-fi movies like with kids and stuff. So we watched Super 8. Me and you kind of talked about that.
Excellent film.
Super 8 is underrated. Like I love that movie. I watched it when it first came out. And then I haven't seen it since. It came out in like 2011. I haven't seen it since it came out.
I haven't either, actually.
So I randomly thought about it because I was taking my daughter had her school registration last week, and we're driving, and there's the big like city water tower is like right by her school, and it had like a tarp over it, and Jay was like, he's like, what's that? What are they doing? What are they doing right there? And I was like, it's a spaceship. And then he was like, what? And I was like, it's an alien building a spaceship. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, no, I got it from this movie. He's like, what movie? So I just thought about it. So we watched it. Super 8's fire, man. It's a really good movie. One, the group of kids is hilarious.
Yep.
I just, it's very Spielbergian, you know what I mean? And like that nostalgia, like 80s group of kids and Alien.
I was telling
Sci-Fi.
you offline that it's definitely an ancestor of Stranger Things for sure.
Oh, 100%. Definitely probably inspired Stranger Things. And
I also mentioned, like, I love Stranger Things, but I can't stand the fucking directors, bro. I hate how they like the product is excellent, but I hate the pretentiousness that they have. Like they are really like, sure, like it's an 80s general nod to the 80s, but when they get asked about like specific
ones,
they
like,
be acting
man,
like come on, what are we doing, bro? Like it's fine.
Yeah, man, it's okay
it's
to
no
give
big
props.
deal.
Like y'all literally they use the Conan sword,
bruh. Right? They sang the fucking song from the Never in the Story. Like, what are we doing?
Nancy clearly was supposed to be Ripley at the end of the last season.
Bro, with the fucking...
with the gun.
Yes, bro. Like, it's fine, guys. Like, come on. It doesn't make it not good. We love it. Like, shut the fuck up. Come on with that shit.
But Super 8 is a great movie. I think my favorite thing about it is... So, watching it now, I think the movie is supposed to be seen through what the kids are seeing.
Kids. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like everything.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite.
Like taking it even.
My favorite example of that is like the train crash. Like that was the most ridiculous train crash I've ever seen. Bro, in a movie.
The train crash lasted for like 15 minutes.
It was insane, but. So what I'm saying is that the crash was completely ridiculous. Yeah. They would not have survived.
No way. It was just exploding all around them.
The car was perfectly fine. Remember, her car was okay. Yeah. So, but then when they go back and they actually shoot some of their little. So in this movie, these kids are shooting their own little zombie film on a Super 8 camera. That's why it's called Super 8. And they are trying to finish this film so they can submit it to a local film festival.
It's like if Home Movies and Stranger Things had a baby.
Literally,
it's like
such
exactly.
a good.
If y'all remember Home Movies from Adult Swim, hilarious.
That's
by the way,
very funny. That's a great way to describe it. So they're shooting this movie and then. They go to shoot it. There's a train that comes, and they end up. Long story short, they end up witnessing this crazy train crash, and the train ends up was holding an alien that the government had been hiding and experimenting on it, and the alien gets out, and that's what the movie's about. Yeah. But So the train crash scene is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. But then, like,
it reminds me of like, you remember how you had your toy car at the top of the step and then you like throw it off, and like, so like during the crash it kind of slows down and then it hits like the stair the wrong way and then it starts flipping crazy again.
Crazy.
That's how the fucking train crash was.
So then when they go back and they shoot at the crash site, because they actually go back and shoot some of their movie there.
Yeah.
You can see the train and it got derailed, but it's in a straight line. So I think that crazy is how they saw it. You know what I'm saying? But it was actually kind of it got
still
derailed,
crazy, but like not
to that level, right? So I think that.
But think about it though. Like imagine, like in Royal Oak, downtown Royal Oak, where there's that train.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Every time I see a train that go by, I be like, bro, if this shit even a little bit derails, we're all dead.
Yeah,
like all of us,
for sure.
Like, we're fucked.
I know exactly what area you're talking about. Little Bros is right there. Burgers.
Yeah, shout out. And Comet Burger.
Yeah, Comet Burger. I love Comet Burger too. But yeah, so I think that's how this movie's meant to be watched, and I love it. I think it's great. I like the way the alien is designed. It's a little scarier than I remember it being. Like the alien's kind of it kills people. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen what's the movie?
And it's big.
A Quiet Place. Did you see A Quiet Place?
Yes, yeah.
It reminds me of that alien a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
In terms of
I saw
appearance.
the first one. I didn't see the second one.
I saw the second one, but I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
First one was dope though.
It was cool, man. And so I really love Super 8, man. Watched that. Then we watched Earth to Echo. Earth to Echo is another fun movie. It's like a camera footage movie. Like, I like those movies.
Me too. But that one doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, Earth to Echo came out around the same time, I think. I think it came out maybe a few years later, maybe like 2014 or something. But Earth to Echo is another good movie, man. It's about these kids, and they're it's like one of those. It's a camera footage movie, which I really like. And
they find
their friend is one of they're a group of friends,
Wally,
but they're all moving. They're a group of friends, but they're all moving away. So they end up, the government's been like, hanging around their neighborhood and making everybody move out and all this weird stuff. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. So they go out on their bikes, they ride out to the desert. These kids live in Nevada. And they end up finding this thing that ends up being this little cute alien, and the alien is kind of the similar situation. It's trying to build a spaceship so it can go back home, and it's like a found footage movie, just about friendship, and it's cool, man. I like it. It's a good movie.
With that said, since you like that type of movie, I do as well. There's one that I really like Chronicle. Do you remember Chronicle?
I do remember Chronicle. That was this movie is, I would literally say it's like a combination between Super 8 and Chronicle. Like, right. It's very similar to those two movies.
I like Chronicle.
Chronicle was good. That was a movie with the superpowers, right? They get exposed to that.
Like a meteor or something like that.
Yeah, Chronicle was good, man. I like that movie as well. That's another good camera footage movie. So yeah, I watched that, and then the last one. Okay, then we'll move on. There's a movie that I've been putting off to watch for a really long time. Was 13 Assassins. You guys know I love samurai cinema, and 13 Assassins is a movie that was on my list for a really long time, and I tried to watch it a few years back, and it was just the first 10 minutes. Like the villain is just he's so evil, and you know what I mean, and they show some pretty graphic stuff, and it just was, I just was like, I don't want to watch this right now, you know what I'm saying, and I never went back to it. So I finally go back to it, and I stomach the first 10 minutes, and I mean, when I say this, like, I mean, this guy is such a scumbag that you literally will make the decision in the first 10 minutes, and you're either going to do what I did the first time and just kind of be like, you know what, like, this isn't for me. And Takashi Miike is the director, and he's kind of known for like super over the top violent stuff, and so you're either gonna do that or you're gonna be like, nah, I gotta watch this whole movie because I like have to see this guy die so I can sleep at night. You know what I mean? Right. So this movie is about this guy. And he is his shogun. He's like the brother of the current shogun. So he pretty much is very powerful, does whatever he wants. And I mean, this dude is just, he's terrible. Like he kills peasant families, kills children, tortures people, rapes women, pretty much kills whoever he wants. You know what I'm saying? He's just a real just scum of the earth type of guy. And what happens is he ends up killing, I'm gonna keep this short. He ends up killing this guy's son, and who is the lord of another, land or whatever. He goes. So this movie does take place in the before the Meiji era. So this is like the era of the shogun and the shogunate and like the peaceful era, right, where the samurai are unemployed and there's no more bushidos, no more way of the sword, right? So he ends up going to this guy who was like a really good samurai, and he's basically like, we have to kill this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't let him get into a higher position of power because he's gonna like basically ruin the mainland. You know what I mean? So the movie's about, it has a little Seven Samurai vibe to it. They get basically recruit a team of assassins to assassinate this guy, and it's just this movie, like if it came out in 2010, I honestly think this is probably the best modern samurai film in existence. It's the first half of the movie is just kind of like build up exposition, but what it is like they get their team together and they basically come up with a plan, you know what I mean, to assassinate this guy. And what it is like they end up coming up with this super elaborate ambush, and the entire like last hour of this movie is just like these 13 guys that they have and against 200 of the other people, and against this guy and his, the people, his followers and people he has protecting him. And they basically like, it's so good, man. Like they just come up with this plan to like clear this village out so it can all take place in this one place so they can trap them there. It's really good. I would say definitely you could go out of your way to watch it. I think it's the best modern samurai film. The action is amazing. The sound work is incredible. Like everything just sounds really good. It looks great. Soundtrack's fire. It's a really dope movie. Like I said, it's definitely one of my favorite samurai movies. Like I had made a list on Letterboxd of my top 15 favorite samurai movies. Like this would definitely be top 5. So I gotta go in there and put it in there. But 13 Assassins, man, go out of your way to watch it. Great movie. It's violent. It's very well paced, and the last hour is just this chaos, like this chaotic battle scene. So it's really good. Boom. Moving on. Yesterday, we watched some wrestling. AEW All-In, the Wembley Stadium, the largest recorded wrestling crowd of all time. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about the event, or that it was the biggest?
How do you feel about? I guess let me rephrase my question. How do you feel about this show with this card being the one that was done in front of the largest wrestling crowd of all time?
Why don't I let you answer that question? Because I think your take is it's not a hot take actually, but I think you have a very passionate response about it. What do you think?
So first of all, the show was fun. I enjoyed it.
Agreed.
But and it's not their fault, right? Like they're not like, oh, this is the largest wrestling crowd, like, let's tailor the card to that. Because in all reality, AEW actually has it. They have a pay-per-view next week. All Out is next week. Yeah. So, but I guess I just like, I'm gonna be honest. You guys know how I feel about MJF and Adam Cole, and it just really bothers me that is the main event of the largest wrestling crowd of all time. It just does. That just does not sit well with me. That bothers me a lot. Yeah. I wasn't in love with this card. I almost hate the fact that Kenny Omega didn't have a singles match, and from everything I've read, they were going to do Omega Danielson too at this show, but Bryan Danielson broke his arm, which absolutely breaks my heart, because in front of this crowd, that match would have been off the chain.
It probably would have been the main event.
Yeah. So, that hurts a little bit, but, it was a fun show. But like I said, this card and that main event for the biggest wrestling crowd of all time just kind of bothered me a little bit. But that's just me. You know, I don't like Adam Cole. I don't like MJF. I will say, I just don't like MJF's just not what I like in my wrestling, right? But he is a good wrestler. And I even think in this match that he showed he can do everything. Like he can wrestle technically, he can do the funny theatrical stuff. He can do the dramatic stuff. He had the amazing Iron Man match with Bryan Danielson this year. Like he's good. He's just not for me. You know what I mean? But he is a good wrestler. Adam Cole, on the other hand, I'm not gonna spend this whole time talking about it. I just never have got it.
Yeah.
I've seen him since he was in PWG, Ring of Honor. I've always been watching him. I just never understood it, and I still don't to this day. I don't get it.
It's one of those things where it's one of those moments to me where I kind of feel like wrestling is a little bit arbitrary with like what people think is good or not, and I that bothers me, man. Like it just in general, whether it's music, whether it's storytelling, whether it's whatever. I don't like an inconsistent like rubric, like grading scale, and I see that a lot. And like where I can be okay with it is if it's just like I have a preference for this type of thing, fine. But like when we like try to find a way to like, and maybe we shouldn't, right? But we do it all the time where we like try to quantify in terms of metrics how good something is that is a little bit objective or subjective. I don't like it when people are inconsistent, and I've been beating this drum to death. I talked to Edmund about it last week. Edmund was in town briefly last week. To kind of check on some family stuff, so it was cool to see him for a little hot minute. But I talk about this like Taika Waititi versus James Gunn, where it's like, all right, what are we doing? Like in terms of the like inconsistency of our rubric here, it just so happens is one or two things are true because they do very similar things. Either y'all are all racist or y'all are just prisoner at a moment, like one or the other. And I think the same thing happens in wrestling. And Adam Cole is a person who gets the benefit of the doubt a lot. Where it's like I can think of a lot of people who y'all don't like who's way better than him at like everything.
And it's just weird. I don't get it. And it could be this thing where like people like him as a person, so they just sure, you know what I mean. But I just don't get it. Like I don't think he's a main event guy. I don't think he should be. It just really bothers me because I just don't. I have never got it, and for it to just consistently keep happening every company, it's just like bothering me so bad. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, the show was fun. I don't think it was the best. It was fun. It was some of the results made me mad, but
really, which ones?
So let's just talk about. So the first match, they opened up the main card with Samoa Joe versus CM Punk. Yeah. It was fun.
You knew who was gonna win that.
Yeah, it was a fun match. I love Samoa Joe.
Same.
I'm just right now. I'm still not down with the CM Punk title thing. You know what I'm saying? Until AEW.
CM Punk, another person that gets a lot of credit for being okay. He's,
same thing.
Polarizing and good for, like we said, polarizing, good for wrestling, but also
I feel the same way about CM Punk too that I feel about Adam Cole. And I mean, Punk had in his younger years, he was, and I got to be honest, like even then, I never thought that he was. Like I was always,
he wasn't no Danielson.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Back when they were both in the Indies.
Yeah, that's
not even close.
That's what I mean. But I mean, like you said, super polarizing. That match was fun. Punk won, but again, that title is just annoying until AEW does like some type of unification thing or they actually acknowledge it officially. Yeah. Then we had. Then they like went right into the Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Adam Page versus Jay White, Konosuke Takeshi, and the Juice Robinson match. That match was fun. Yeah. I mean, it was, it's a 6-man tag, so it's gonna be fun. I didn't think it was amazing. Not. It was fun. I mean, it was a fun match. You know, it's dope to see Kenny Ibushi, Hangman. It was also surprising the way that it ended. Kenny was kind of like hawking up on everybody, and then Takeshita just came in and rolled him up and got the win. Yeah. When those two wrestle each other one-on-one, which hopefully maybe we get it at All Out, that would be dope. It's going to be a banger for sure. So
I have a hot take out of that match.
Yes, sir.
This might make you upset, but maybe not, because you're a fan of this person as well. I think at some point, maybe not, certainly not right now, but at some point, Takeshita will be a bigger star than Kota Ibushi.
Ooh, I could definitely see it, especially here in the States.
And that's really what it is, because he's gonna be entering his prime in the US in front of the biggest stage.
Yeah, and Ibushi has and I love Kota Ibushi. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He hasn't looked like himself yet to me since he's wrestled these two matches in AEW.
He's put on a lot of weight, and I think he's
put on a lot of weight, and I can definitely see that too. He was hurt. He was out for a long time because he was injured.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we see him like in his best that he can be coming up. That match was cool. What else do we have? Okay, then we had the Mortal Kombat fatality, disgusting.
Yo, what the?
Is John Moxley just gonna get shot? He's just gonna get shot in one match.
Yeah, no, he's gonna volunteer. No, just do it. Shoot.
This match was disgusting.
Bro, that's one of the most ridiculous spots I've ever seen. And if you've seen the match, you know the one I'm talking about.
This match was disgusting. Orange Cassidy did the kickboxer, dipping his hands in the glass, and then he glass punched Claudio. That match was disgusting. The casket match was fun. It was Sting and Darby versus Swerve and Christian. Sting's got to chill.
Stop jumping off of stuff, please.
He scares me. Like when the
You're 60-something.
When the table didn't break and then he went to do it again, I was like, this dude's gonna break his back.
Be careful.
And Darby's already broken his back. He just
clearly,
my man just doesn't care.
I will say though, that little promo they did at first where Sting had the steampunk hat, that was so fire, bro.
It was fire. Darby's always got the best Vignet videos.
Like vignettes, yeah.
That was dope. We had the trios match, man, with the House of Black losing the trios titles to Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. What are we doing? I mean, I don't care that House of Black lost, because like, let's get it popping with Malachi Black. Okay, this guy is incredible in the ring. He's got a great look, great personality, great character, great on the mic. He's like on Darby Allin's level with the vignette videos. Like, he needs to be a main event single star. Like, come on, what are we waiting for? You know what I mean? So I'm okay with them losing the titles, but we got to start doing something with Malachi Black, in my opinion.
I agree.
Then we had my favorite match of the night was the tag match, FTR versus Young Bucks. I thought this match was fire. The crowd was a little dead at some points in this match, which I don't really understand why. But I thought this match was great. I thought it was the best match of the night. FTR won. That match was really dope. I love the ending sequence. The finish was really dope. That was my favorite match. Then we had the match result that made me mad, which was Hikaru Shida losing her title to Saraya in that women's 4-way match. Tony Khan. Hey, don't talk about me in my promotion, okay? Tony Khan is big eyeballs. He just, I don't like.
Well,
come on, man.
Hold on, before you give your take. I didn't like it either, but like, you know why he did it.
Yes, for the moment, right? But
what choice did he have though?
Not putting the belt on Shida again and waiting.
Fair, but like,
because like, bro, nope. Because this, first of all, Shida is the best woman in AEW, in my opinion, and I think she's been the best woman ever since they started. Her first title reign was during COVID, so she didn't get to do a reign in front of any fans. Then she lost the belt. Then they like never have her on TV. I think she got mad, went and worked in Japan some more, came back. Then she wins the title to be a transitional champion between two women in the same faction, which is ridiculous. She gets it off of Toni Storm, holds it for like 2 weeks, and then loses it to Saraya. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. I think that I would hope. I don't think Tony Khan has earned the benefit of the doubt to give him this, but I think that like. If the only consistent way to make sense out of what has transpired,
bro,
here,
Saraya has barely wrestled except the week leading up to this.
Agreed,
like,
but the way that you make this work is that she drops the title again at All Out like next week.
Yeah,
if that happens, that's satisfactory.
I just think Tony Khan is just a fan of people. He books like a fan. Like he is a fan of people, and he. You know what I mean? He books like a fan and not like a
So I'm gonna complicate this
booker.
again. This isn't necessarily my opinion because I don't have perspective, but like
he's a mark. That's what the wrestling community would call him.
Fair, but like, isn't that what marks do? Isn't that what we all think? Like, oh, I could book it better.
We're all marks,
right?
Everybody.
But now he's actually.
You can't run the business and be a mark though.
But like,
because
isn't that what we're asking other?
But we're marks.
I know, I get it, but just think about this though. Aren't we asking the bookers to think more like us?
I don't know if I'm asking him to think more like me more than I'm asking him to do what makes sense in the program. But
that did make sense in the program, though.
It doesn't, though, because
it doesn't make sense
because if that's the case, it makes all hometown wrestling moments predictable. If that's the case,
but they are.
But Vince, I hate Vince McMahon. You know I hate Vince McMahon. But Vince be having people lose in these moments all the time.
Fair enough.
It just makes it so it's not so predictable. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
that's, to me,
she
though,
comes
that's
out with her whole family.
That's one of the most predictable wrestling spots, though. Is person wins gold in their hometown. Like, that's like a classic ass like wrestling gimmick. Listen, I'm here for disrupting the status quo. That's what I live for. I'm just saying, and I don't like the decision either because I'm not a huge fan of Saraya, and I wanted Shida to win.
And if so, to me, it's one. If we're gonna do this, just keep the title of Toni Storm.
Fair.
You know what I mean? That's the thing that we're really getting at here. It doesn't bother me that Saraya won, which I don't like her, and that's fine, whatever. She won in her hometown, that's cool. It just, like, there was no point in having Shida winning other than trying to do something cool at Dynamite 200, right? Like, if that was the case, you could have changed some other title instead of that one. You know what I mean? Like, you could have just kept it on Toni Storm, which honestly would have been a better story because now you have Toni Storm losing it to her friend that's in her group instead of losing it to Shida, who's the best women's wrestler in your company, and then she only holds the belt for a couple weeks and loses it all in to another member from the same group. You know what I mean? Like, the better story would have been to just have Toni Storm keep it going into All-In.
I'm with you on that. I just think that because of how quick it was, I give AEW forget Tony Khan. I give AEW the benefit of the doubt for, like, there usually being more to the story. And so, like, at this point, until they prove me wrong, which if they don't do it here, that'll be the beginning of them proving me wrong. I'm willing to think, like, all right, I don't love this decision, but what are y'all planning? Like, what's going on next? And we'll see. We'll see what happens at All Out. I don't know what's been announced at All Out, but, like, I can't imagine Saraya holding the belt long. Whether it be to give it back up to Toni Storm, hopefully not. Hopefully it's Shida, because I agree. Shida, and they even mentioned that. That's what makes me think, bro. They've been building her up. Even in the commentary during that match, they kept saying shit like, Shida has had the best reign of any AEW's women champion.
Well, I would say her or Jamie Hayter. Her being hurt, I think, really messed their women's division up. Yeah. But yeah, man. And then moving on, the main event was obviously MJF versus Adam Cole. I mean,
was it? Well, let me ask you this: was it better than you expected it to be?
It would no, because it had too much. It had too much. Yes, that's a great word. It did.
It did have a lot of shtick.
It had too much shtick in it for me. I just thought it was dumb. It's just me. That's just how I feel.
That's fair. I thought it was funny
when they did wrestle. The wrestling was cool, but I just this whole Just the whole everything. It just was. This is not my thing, so I didn't care for it.
I didn't love the match either, but I did think it was funny, and I'm really intrigued. I don't give a shit about Adam Cole. I'm not a fan of him, but I am a fan of MJF, and I'm very intrigued about this character. Like, I'm wondering, like, are they kind of halfway turned him face a little bit in a way that I'm curious about. So we'll see what happens with it.
I don't like sometimes when wrestling is like, when it makes you feel dumb for watching it, and that's what that match did to me. It made me feel dumb for watching it.
Why
know what
you
I'm saying?
feel
It just
dumb?
did. It's because it's stupid.
All of this shit is
like
it's all silly.
It is all silly, which I definitely agree with. But I just think that when they overdo it to that extent, like it's almost like when you're watching, like we'll watch some Attitude Era stuff, and like, you know what I mean? Like some of the stupid stuff they did. It's like you're like, what am I doing, dog? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest, bro. I feel that about almost everything. Almost everything in wrestling makes me feel that way. But that's the beauty of it. It's like, bro, this shit, like once you, because a lot of people are surprised to learn that don't know me as like a nerd. They're surprised to learn that I like wrestling. And my explanation, because Omari, fucking smart and goddamn Hotep and fucking black and whatever. Right. And my response to them is always, bro, it's all fun ass make believe. It's all comic books. And once you like get in, once you just accept that,
I agree that it's all comic books. But if we're gonna do comic books, let's do some Marvel comics and not Archie. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. All-In was cool. Let's see what they do with All Out. Boom. All right, man. Star Wars. The Ahsoka show is upon us. I absolutely love these first 2 episodes. How did you feel about Ahsoka?
She was fire. She was really, really good. Really enjoying it. Off to a great start. So I read a headline. I didn't read the article, but I read a headline that said that Ahsoka is now the lead of the entire Star Wars galaxy. And my response was, bro, allow it. Allow it, bro. That's so fucking fire. And if you really think about from like a pre original trilogy, so like everything until episode 4, she kind of is the main character. Like all of the stories. I mean, sure, Anakin is the main character, but like if you think about it,
Clone Wars stuff. Yeah.
But like Anakin
Rebels
can't.
Too.
It's hard for him to be the absolute main character when he's also the villain as well. Eventually, right? He might be the. So if Anakin is the main character, our vantage point as a viewer is Ahsoka, and she kind of maintains that. You know, she steps aside during the events of the original trilogy, but right after that, like she kind of comes back into the spotlight and has the connective tissue that takes you from the prequel era all the way into right before the sequel era, which I couldn't ask for a better character. And I love the fact that like she's not a Jedi, dog. Kind of fuck the Jedi Order a little bit, bro. Yeah. Like, and she gets it. She gets the hypocrisy. She gets the like the rigidness of both the Jedi and the Sith. And here's another thing that like I like about Star Wars that this show is expanding upon is that the Force is not synonymous with Jedi or Sith. Jedi and Sith are religions that a certain group has used to understand the Force, but the Force exists outside of the context of those two religions, and the Night Sisters are one such example. Yep. And there's tons in the comic books and in the legends. There's tons of other examples of folks that like use the Force
and manipulate it in their own different way.
But it's outside of the context of Jedi, which makes me realize, which is really fucking dope. And I would love for Star Wars to take a better look at this. That the idea of the dark side and the light side is kind of arbitrary.
It is.
It's kind of some shit that the Jedi and the Sith made up.
It's just like it depends on which side of the story you're on and which vantage point you have. They all use it for us to get what they want.
Shout out to Obi-Wan, bro. Good and evil are points of view, dog.
Yeah, man. Fire.
Or did he say right and wrong? Something
right
like
and
that.
wrong, I think.
Points of view.
But yeah, man. Very true. And I love it. Love it. I think more than it's a well-known fact that Star Wars is influenced by samurai films and Akira Kurosawa movies. But I think this show within the first 2 episodes has shown that samurai influence a lot. And I think Ahsoka she just comes off as a Ronin type of character. And I love it. I am loving these first 2 episodes were really good. I think Rosario Dawson is finally like comfortable with that lightsaber style. Like I know she did a lot of I watched the video. She trained a lot for this, even while she was like shooting another movie. She was still training 2 hours a day for like a couple months straight to get ready for this. And I think so when we first saw her live action Ahsoka, you could tell that she wasn't really comfortable doing the action stuff yet, and it's like now it's like this stuff is starting to look fluid, and it looks like she's more comfortable with it. Like the fight scenes that we did get were great. I love the paying homage to the best Star Wars movie, Phantom Menace. I love the little callbacks to Phantom Menace. In this, what was that, first episode, second episode? I think the first one. Really dope. The addition of all these Rebels characters. Also, like, I feel like Star Wars Rebels is that show that was like kind of the one that was canon, but people didn't care. You know what I mean? Like it's canon.
I don't know, bro.
But
I think I feel different about you.
I know a lot of people that don't watch that show, and
they're missing out, bro. Rebels was fire, dog.
No, I like Rebels. I'm saying I know a lot of people that didn't care for it, and I think that now.
You need to watch
You
Rebels.
need to watch Rebels.
Like, you literally can't. There was some of the complaints about Ahsoka was that, like, damn, like, if you didn't watch
Rebels, you don't know
or Clone Wars, both of them, you can't follow this shit.
Yeah, and that's why I think this show is I like what this show is doing, because they're like, no, like, you need to pay attention to everything that we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, if it's canon, like, you can't miss it. You got to watch it.
Agreed.
Because imagine if you turned on Ahsoka and you didn't watch any of Rebels.
Yeah,
you would be like, dog,
done.
What's happening? Who are these characters? Why is this guy gone? Why are they looking for this guy? What's this map? Like, where, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I love that. I love that they're sending people like, nope, turn it off, go watch Rebels, and then come back and watch this. I loved it, man. I did. I thought the action was great. I like the soundtrack. Like, it sounds, it doesn't not sound like Star Wars, but it doesn't sound like most of the Star Wars things.
It sounds, especially the opening scene, it sounds like a samurai film.
It does. Like, I really like that. I love the soundtrack. I love Ahsoka's character, period. Like, she's just such a really good, like I said, she just seems like that Ronin character. She's not a Jedi technically. Like, I really love her character.
Same.
And I think Rosario Dawson is like nailing it now. Like,
100%.
she does, even like her little mannerisms, her body language, like she acts just like Ahsoka does.
Honestly, I kind of feel like this character is new a little bit, right? In the sense that the older, I mean, because Ahsoka's like 50 now.
I was gonna say, because this is like old, wise Ahsoka. You know
so
what I mean?
so in some ways she's the same, but in a lot of ways she's totally different. And like I really love like that face that she makes, where it's like, I got all the answers, but I'm not about to tell you.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love
bro.
that too.
I love that shit.
Yeah, I like it too.
And Rosario Dawson is just the perfect actor for
She's
that.
nailing this role. I love it. I think this. If we keep it up, you know, I'm sure in the middle of the season they'll give us a random episode that's about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Oh, are you? Bro, that shit's about to happen tomorrow. Watch.
So I already know that's gonna happen at some point, but I am loving the show, and it definitely has the potential to be like my favorite Star Wars show that we've got so far. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we'll see, man.
Wait a second. I do have one. I have one complaint and one like curiosity. You already know how I felt about the casting of Sabine. I don't like the cast. I mean, Sabine was very obviously a South Asian coded character. She was brown. They even kind of like, there were some pictures online of like showing her in the early seasons versus the later seasons, where like she was significantly darker.
Yeah.
And then they lightened her up a little bit to like, I don't know, whatever. Problematic. shout out to brown skinned Asians. They get zero representation out there unless it's like Umbach or fucking something that stars somebody from Thailand. Would have been a cool opportunity to get a South Asian person to play that role. Instead, they got a half white, half Chinese woman who I'm sure is a great actor, but I just didn't like the pick. Whatever. Sorry, bro. That shit matters. But I also just don't like the portrayal of Sabine so far. Like, we get it. She was always stubborn. She was always pig-headed. She was always like a little bit combative. But thus far, it's almost like, okay, so we need plot lift off. Let's have Sabine like just say fuck Ahsoka and literally just like do exactly the opposite just because we need the plot to move forward. I didn't love that. So that's my only complaint. There's plenty of time for her to right the ship and become a great character. I'm sure she will. Dave Filoni, I trust him. I trust the people who are writing it. I'm sure it'll be fine. My curiosity is, what are we doing with Sabine the Jedi? Right? Like, because it's clear that she isn't force sensitive in the sense that we are traditionally aware of. So like, is it one of these things where she's gonna all of a sudden, because she's like, again, keep in mind, time jump, she's like 30. It ain't like Luke Skywalker being a late bloomer.
We're not babies anymore.
And it's also,
none of these characters are babies.
And it's also not like Luke Skywalker being a late bloomer at 17. Like, no, Sabine is like 30 something. She's like imagine us training to be a Jedi today. You know what I'm saying?
So
my question is, like, what are we doing? Is she gonna do? Oh, I've had the Force all along.
Yeah, because like,
I've
seen all of Rebels.
Hear me out real quick. My bad. Or because I want to get this, I want to know your thoughts on this. Are we gonna do, which could be really cool? Can you be a Jedi that's not Force sensitive?
That would be interesting.
And what would that look like?
That would be interesting, and it would be new, and it would be different. And Rebels, I'm like 90% sure that there was no moment that hinted at her being Force sensitive.
They made you think during this dark saber arc, but like,
I feel like
there was no concrete.
I was gonna say, I feel like they even may have like gone to the lengths to confirm that she's not.
Right. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
The darksaber stuff was cool, and that kind of maybe explains why she can use a lightsaber.
She's also a Mandalorian.
And she's also a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I think
whose religion is scrapping.
What if we did? I know we're gonna see Bo-Katan and these other characters in the show at some point. I think it would be interesting to see what goes on with the darksaber. But I think what you said is interesting, man. And I mean, it's not it's never a bad idea to do something new. You know what I mean? Like, if we did go down the lines of, can there be a person that's not Force sensitive that can be a Jedi? That would be interesting. I would be, I kind of hope we don't do the, oh, she is Force sensitive, and she's been, because like you said, like, we're not teenagers. Like, these characters are grown in their 30s, 40s and 50s. So, I think it would be, I don't think that would be the move. So,
Agreed.
But like you said, I trust them too. So we'll see what they do. First 2 episodes are fire, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, according to a quick Google search, Sabine is around 30 at the time of.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough to like suddenly have a Jedi like a Force awakening.
Mm-hmm. Also, she ate the same. I know Qui-Gon Jinn is just turning in his grave because he's just watching a lot of people get lightsabers to the midsection and be fine. But these 2 episodes were sick, man. I love it. Really enjoying it. All right, man. So we talked about how the next tournament we're gonna do is gonna be sci-fi movie characters, and some of the rules that we've put in place are there can only be 2 characters from the same movie franchise. Okay, so we can't do like Luke and Darth Vader and Darth Maul and Ahsoka, and so we only do 2 characters. Right now, we always do 4 regions. What 2 number 1 seeds? Give me what characters do you think are deserving of number 1 seeds? And we'll say, like, and from what we've discussed, like, the only thing that would outlaw you from being in a tournament is if you won a previous one. So if you were in a tournament and you did not win it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we're thinking about some crossovers, right? Because I was going to ask, what do we consider in a sci-fi movie, right? Because technically, like Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator is a sci-fi movie.
Right?
Aliens and Matrix and all these movies.
So Ellen Ripley did not win.
She did not.
So she is eligible.
Ellen Ripley is eligible for a 1 seed.
Although I don't know that I would recommend her for a 1 seed, just because I mean she's been a 1 seed already.
Yeah, and this tournament has
there's a lot
of like
there's a lot
inhuman characters and like I mean you got to think about everything everywhere all at once, and that's technically sci-fi.
It is.
Matrix is sci-fi.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Star Wars is sci-fi.
So here are my nominations for my nominations for the sci-fi men, because if we want to keep like 2 men, 2 women for number 1 seeds, it would be Luke Skywalker. Is what it is. I mean, I don't hate Luke, but I have criticism of Luke Skywalker, but still he's a classic character. And Neo from the Matrix would be my 2 suggestions for number 1 seeds.
Interesting. Luke and Neo.
And Neo would be highest on that list in my opinion.
I think Neo is the like the top overdog in this tournament.
Agreed.
Like he's the seed that
Neo is the dog. Keanu Reeves.
this guy.
Right. So do we agree that
trying to win everything?
Are we good with Neo being a number 1 seed?
Yes, I think we're good with Neo and Luke being ones, because I mean we gotta remember this. I mean it's about everything. Like it's a little bit of everything, like legacy and you know how good the character was, how powerful the character was. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the seating. Like remember we had to adjust. Who we have to adjust? We had to adjust Mission Impossible Tom Cruise. Yeah. Because I was kind of being a hater, but he deserved to be there. We had to adjust James Bond too. Yeah. Remember 007. So, but yeah, I agree with those. I think I would go for the number 1 seeds that I would nominate here would probably be Sci-Fi. So again, this also goes back to if we're gonna do 2 characters, if we're gonna say only 2 characters for a movie, would we allow that movie to get 2 number 1 seeds? You know what I mean? Or are we gonna only let each movie get 1 number 1 seed? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what do you got? What's your idea?
I think we should only let 1. I think we should only let one film series can't have more than 1 number 1 seed.
I think that's fair.
So with that said, my 1 seeds would be Ellen Ripley.
Okay.
I would nominate Ellen Ripley, and I would nominate I think I would say Ellen Ripley, and I would go ahead and say do we go with like a creature? Do we go with the Predator? Do we go with or do we go with the Terminator? Or do we go with?
I like that idea of a creature.
So would you go Predator? Would you go Xenomorph? Or we can't go Xenomorph because we already gave the one that Ripley. Would you go
Xenomorph is probably a 2 seed.
A 2 seed. Yeah.
Or do you want to go Alien Queen?
Oh yeah, we could go.
Because that's like the top
too,
of
the top one. Yeah. So we could go. Do we go?
Who do you think has a bigger legacy between Predator and Terminator?
I think you gotta go.
It's tough, bro. They're kind of on the titans, same, dog.
Kind of on the same level. But I think that we have seen the Terminator character, I guess, we at least know, because isn't Arnold's isn't his character repeatedly in these movies?
Yeah, he's in all of them damn near.
Because the Predator is not the same
Yeah, so no, I think the same T-800. I think that was his model number.
Yeah.
Is in all of those movies except for, I think Terminator, the one with John Connor, the one with what's the guy that played Batman? Fucking
Batman? I don't know.
Yeah. Damn it! Why can't I think of his name? Y'all know Christian Bale. I think.
Yeah.
That one, there was he made an appearance, but it was like a prototype to like the one that would become Arnold. Okay. I think.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I would say Terminator.
You think so?
Yeah, I would go Terminator. And then.
And your argument was that the predators that we see are all different.
Different predators. Yeah. Which I still think Predator is just a 3 or 4 seed. I think we gotta.
Do you want to pick one? Do you want to do the first Predator, or do you like the?
Yeah, we could do the first one.
Okay.
And then I think that we gotta go, and then like later on when we come back to this, we definitely gotta show. We definitely gotta show some love to Jobu Tupaki.
Yep.
And Evelyn. From Everything Everywhere All at Once. Matrix would definitely get another character, either Morpheus or Agent Smith.
Oh, or Trinity though.
Or Trinity.
Damn it.
Yeah.
For me, it's Morpheus 10 times out of 10. But to get some more female representation, I might have to choose. Trinity. It wasn't like she was a bad character. She was dope too.
Yeah. So we got the number 1 seeds locked in.
Mm-hmm.
And next week we'll come back to this, and we'll nail down some of the couple more of the seeds before we unveil the full brackets for the tournament. All right, man. Last week we had talked about our top 10 SwordCast definitive 90s cartoon list. It was a good list. Like this was one of I think this is one of our best lists. Honestly, the only one that super surprised me was Batman Beyond. Like I knew that people liked it, but like y'all loved Batman Beyond. The list was go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like I was maybe a little bit too old.
Well, Batman Beyond came out in like 1999.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I was already moving on to some other stuff, and it didn't catch my attention the way that the original one did.
So 10, we had Powerpuff Girls. 9 was SWAT Cats. 8 was Spider-Man. 7 was Rugrats. 6 was Recess. 5 was Batman Beyond. 4, Hey Arnold. 3, Batman the Animated Series. 2 was Dexter's Lab. And number 1, you already know, the X-Men cartoon. And now, as we always do the week following the definitive group list, we always give you guys our personal list.
Mm-hmm.
Hero, what you got? Top 10 favorite 90s cartoon.
Yes. So, I'm gonna do a couple of honorable mentions. A couple of these were in my top 10 until I thought about it some more, and then they got kicked out. So I was very conflicted on like should we do like adult cartoons? And good news was. There was only because if The Simpsons were there, that would have challenged my number 1 just because.
Yeah, Simpsons came on in the 80s though.
It did, so it made it not that big a deal because none of the rest of these would have been higher than any of the ones in my top 10 except for 1. So Family Guy, Futurama, South Park were all honorable mentions. Rocko's Modern Life.
Hey man, I don't know if this is a hot take. I liked the old Rocko theme. Remember they changed it to like the weird sounding one?
I don't remember the I remember the weird one.
The first one was like kind of like a hip hop beat.
Dog, I do not remember this shit.
Type in Rocko's Modern Life original theme song.
This is news to me. I ain't never heard this shit before.
Rocko's Modern Life. Rocko, you don't remember that one? It was a little more upbeat.
Let's see.
It was way more upbeat. It wasn't so weird sounding.
Original theme song. All right, let's see.
Turn it up. I'm just kidding.
It's time to get happy. Starting at $1.
Commercial.
Doug, I thought that was you that said just
Luxury TV, changing the channel.
Come on,
play it. Come on.
Yeah, this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Oh yeah. Facts.
This one was fire.
Yeah.
I don't like that they changed it.
This is the one I remember.
Oh, okay, I'm talking about they made like it became weird after this.
Oh, I must not have heard the other one.
Okay.
No, this is the one I remember.
Yeah, the other one's weak.
Also, Rocco was a sex worker.
Dog.
And that joke just went over everybody's head.
Come on, man. That show was mad inappropriate.
Bruh, that nigga was a straight up phone sex operator.
He was a phone sex operator.
Hilarious.
He really was. And the big heads.
Right.
Man.
Fucking weird.
That show was off the chain.
Yep. Okay,
Hilarious.
so the rest of my honorable mentions, Aeon Flux, bro.
Ooh.
Aeon Flux and the Max.
The Max.
Really, really dope era of
Wasn't that like MTV, 90s
dog,
MTV?
super edgy 90s
Yeah,
MTV.
late night. Yeah, man. They had
Man.
that, remember Duckman?
Duckman, yep. Daria was, I think, a part of that wave as well.
La, la, la. Dario was a good show.
Yep. Aeon Flux was such a... And it had these... Aeon Flux had these very weird, like, non-canonical shorts where, like, she would go on a mission and just, like, die at the end.
I remember those, too.
Abrupt as fuck. Like, wait, what the... Wait a minute.
Yeah, I remember those. I didn't know if they were supposed to be, like, nightmares or what.
Yeah.
I remember those, yeah.
I just really like the animation style of Aeon Flux, too. It's really cool. And Pirates of Darkwater.
Fire.
Awesome. And two that were on my list that got knocked down were Recess and Rugrats. But they both got knocked out. By number 10, Beast Wars.
Let's go.
Just went back and started rewatching that shit on Tubi, bro. Tubi with the...
Yeah, you said Tubi's got like a really good selection of old cartoons.
Really good selection of old cartoons, old anime from the 70s, 80s, early 90s.
That's fire.
And I was like, wait a minute. They got all the Transformers shit. They got the G1 Transformers, Beast Wars, Reboot,
that's
everything.
Fire.
Number 9, Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold.
Arnold.
Remember his alarm clock?
Yeah.
Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold.
Number 8, Powerpuff Girls.
Hey.
Just a straight up great show.
Great show, man.
Number 7, dog. I always
it was me.
Right, it was me. I think I had a whole ass mental breakdown.
It was me.
This show, I didn't have cable back in the day, so I would catch almost all these shows at my grandmother's house. But this was
you just hit the
yeah,
hilarious.
But one of the shows that I always used to have a soft spot for because it was so stupid and so silly. Ren and Stimpy, bro. That shit used to have me dying, bro.
Powdered toast.
Powdered toast, man. That nigga would fly backwards and fart.
Fly backwards.
Right. Weird.
Very strange.
Yeah, funny. And number 6, bro. Late arrival to this show, but when I rediscovered it as an adult, I was like, yo, this show is fucking hilarious. And I was just simply too young to appreciate it at the time. Number 6, King of the Hill, bro.
King of
the Hill is so funny, bro.
It is hilarious, and Peggy is the villain of the show.
Ah!
Peggy Hill is the villain of King of the Hill.
That is funny. Why do you say that?
Oh my gosh. This lady she is the definition of a hypocrite, man. Like she thinks that she is like just right about everything and that she does everything in the correct way. Mm-hmm. But she's really she just reminds me of like a really super religious person that like is just constantly just you know what I'm saying, judging but not living by her own gospel, dog. That is Peggy Hill.
Yeah, she's a and that's the beauty of King of the Hill, bro. Like, people are complicated. And Hank Hill, who is like, here's one for fucking for some Game of Thrones fans. This is a stretch of a metaphor of a comparison, but Hank Hill had the same he had the same flaw as Ned Stark, being so honorable.
Don't know what that means because I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
You'll get it though. If whenever you watch it, you'll understand. Having like such honor, such straightforward, conservative, like ironclad beliefs that it like is to his detriment at some times.
Bro, there's a character going back to the beginning of the episode in 13 Assassins, man. Like he is a old school samurai, and he just so happens to be the right hand retainer of the dude that is the target of the assassination. That's just a horrible person, and he is just like, nope, the job of a samurai is to defend his lord, and I have to put my life on the line for
even if he's
the scum of the earth.
Yep.
And even, you know, and there's a duel at the end of the movie with him and his friend who's on the other side to kill this guy, and his boy is even like, dog, like,
right, fuck
it's him. Look at him.
Right, what the fuck you doing?
You about to die for him?
Right. Hey man, fuck that nigga, dog.
Oh man, great stuff.
All right, number 5, Batman the Animated Series. To this day, I think I agree with most, and I'm not I used to be a really big Batman fan, not as much anymore, but a lot of white. Superpower is white supremacy. That's
rich.
It's tough. It's tough to overcome that, bro. Like once I realized that, I was like, He used to be, bro. Batman used to be my favorite superhero.
Oh, so
and
funny.
I was like, ooh,
I don't know anymore.
That's
dog.
tough, bro. That's tough.
Hilarious.
But during this time, he was one of my favorite heroes, and this depiction of him is one of the most accurate.
Nice.
Number 4, Spider-Man.
Oh,
That Spider-Man show used to be right there with the X-Men.
It sure did. What a weird intro.
Yeah. Fucking power rock. Right.
Yeah, the intro was weird. Show was fire though.
And like we always say, bro, best Venom symbiote arc ever.
Oh man.
No movie, no TV show has ever come close to like telling that story as good.
No, it has not.
We might get one though with this Spider-Man 2, because that one is also about the Venom symbiote. We'll see. But it's a high bar to clear.
It is a high bar.
You motherfuckers. Number 3, Reboot. I can't believe I didn't put this in the top 10.
Reboot.
Man, dog.
Reboot,
I used to love this show, bro. I can't talk about it enough.
First CGI cartoon ever.
That's
crazy.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
Just a great show, man. Like it was. I don't know. I've said enough about it already.
That's a big deal. That is a big deal.
And then number 2 and number 1, these are easy for y'all. Dexter's Laboratory and the X-Men animated series.
Let's go.
Boom.
How many of your shows made the definitive list? Read me your list again. I'll find out.
So, Beast Wars. Hey Arnold.
Ding 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 ding.
Powerpuff Girls.
Ding 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 ding.
Ren and Stimpy. King of the Hill. Yeah. Batman the Animated Series.
Ding 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 ding.
Spider-Man.
Ding 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 ding.
Reboot.
Oh, that one hurt, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then your next 2. So you had what, six shows on the list?
6 out of 10. Not bad.
That's what's up. All right, let's get into my weird, controversial list. Top 10 favorite 90s cartoons. I'm telling you right now, I'm an action junkie right now. Mm-hmm. And I was an action.
Are you? I don't think we knew that about you.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely an action junkie, and was an action junkie when I was a kid. So some of the funner cartoons are on my list, even though I loved them and I enjoyed them. I think the most non-action cartoon that I like religiously watched was Dexter's Lab. Mm-hmm. I watched Dexter's Lab.
Yeah, they had action though,
and it did have action in it.
It had a couple of really fucking dope
Dexter's
action
Lab all the time. That was like a show that I actually used to record it on a VHS tape.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to record Dexter's Lab.
That's dedication.
All the time. That was my show. But let's go. Let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10. Getting super weird here with the action. Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
It's a good show, man.
I loved this show so much. We talked about it a little bit last time. One, the opening theme was fire. Yep. So I like this show a lot because I used to watch, I had a cousin of mine who had Boomerang. Mm-hmm. And Boomerang was like that channel that showed all the old like Hanna-Barbera cartoons and stuff. They showed like old cartoons all day.
Still do. I think it still exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, but Boomerang was like, I loved it. And I used to watch the old Johnny Quest cartoon on Boomerang. And when they had like started playing the commercials for the new one that was gonna come out on Cartoon Network, like I was like, whoa, dog. Like,
y'all stepped it up.
And they're like older, you know what I'm saying? Show's fire, is dope. The only thing that didn't age well was the Quest World stuff where they used the CGI. It looks freaking horrible. But the show was dope. It was edgy. Like I told you, some gruesome deaths on there.
Yeah.
The adventures are dope. Race Bannon was like James Bond, dog. Yeah. Race Bannon was always the best character to me. But this Real Adventures of Johnny Quest was fire. They had some cool toys. I had a lot of the toys too growing up, me and my brother. So shout out to Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Coming in at number 9, Batman the Animated Series.
Hey,
this is
Batman on your list?
This is the only time you guys will hear me talk positive about Batman. Look, every kid that grew up in the 90s, 80s, whatever, late 80s probably for them, like this is, in my opinion, still the best way to consume Batman. This cartoon is amazing. And it was like just a huge deal when we were kids. Like there was nobody, you couldn't go to a kid's house and not see at least 1 or 2 Batman toys from the show. And again, we talked about last time how like this is just that time where the cartoon looked like the toys, man, and the toys looked like, you know what I mean, everything just mashed. But this show's fire. I think it's got the best like opening, like not the song, but just like the little opening part of the show was amazing. Shout out to Batman the Animated Series, man. That is a big, and you know, I don't know if I've said this on here before, like, I mean, people know I don't have the best relationship with my dad, and I never did. But one thing I remember that I will never forget that he did when I was a kid is he recorded every episode of Batman the Animated Series on VHS tapes, and he would give it to me and my brother. Nice. So that was like that's like a thing I always associate with that show too. So shout out to Batman the Animated Series. Coming in at number 8, SWAT Cats, man. SWAT Cats was fire. Great cartoon. So shout out to the homie Nick. He told me something hilarious about SWAT Cats that I never knew. On Aqua Teen Hunger Force, they used SWAT Cats backgrounds.
Wow. Really?
I never knew that. He said they did it to save money. Hilarious. I never knew that.
That's actually
that is so
really
funny.
That's a deep cut
piece
of trivia.
It is a super
there.
deep cut piece of trivia, and it's absolutely hilarious. I never knew that. What you doing there? Shout to Carl. But SWAT Cats coming in at number 7. This was one of the theme songs I played. I have no idea how I consumed this show. I just know I loved it. I had a lot of the toys, and I had a lot of tapes of it. Bucky O'Hare, man. Most fire opening theme song. The ship had the coolest name ever. The name of their ship was the Righteous Indignation.
Yes.
And there was Deadeye Duck and Bucky. It's like Star Fox, kind of. Like it's kind of like a Star Fox.
Yeah, definitely. It reminded me of Star Fox for sure.
But this show was fire, man. It was really good. Shout out to Bucky O'Hare. Loved it. One of my favorite cartoons of all time. Coming in at number 6. We got Spider-Man.
Let's go.
Spider-Man cartoon, fire. We already been talking about it. Best Venom saga. Best cartoon at like getting multiple heroes in the same show to me. Like this cartoon had like everybody made an appearance in this show. You talked about the Secret Wars episodes they did. This cartoon had Blade, Morbius, War Machine, Iron Man, Daredevil, Venom, Wolverine, not to mention his villains that pop up in the show. Like this show was really like top-notch Marvel cartoon.
Yep.
Now we get into this top 5. Coming in at number 5. This show makes my list. I was obsessed with this show, and I literally remember going through a time where it stopped coming on, and I just was so mad because it was a cartoon that actually had like an ongoing story. And that's Pirates of Dark Water.
Man, what a crazy cliffhanger, bro.
This was my show. Again, like one of those shows that just didn't finish it, and it was so good, and it had like it was like structured like an anime, kind of had like the long story arc going on. It's such a good show, man. Shout out to Pirates of Dark Water. And my number 4, this more than any other cartoon on this list reminds me of my brother, and that's Mighty Max.
Hey,
Mighty Max was fire. This show was huge to me, my brother, growing up. Watched it every morning before school. This and another show that I'll get to later. The little Polly Pocket. Remember the little Polly Pocket Mighty Maxes? This show was dope, man. Norman was my dude. He was like a barbarian type of like Viking kind of.
Yeah, with that. He had a big ass axe, right?
He had a big sword.
Oh yeah.
And he was like his protector. And Norman, man, my
he was
favorite,
like Thor. He reminded me of Thor. Yeah,
and my favorite episode was that one where Norman had to fight that monster to live for another 1,000 years. Oh my gosh, this show is so good, man. Shout out to Mighty Max. If you guys never seen it, it's about this kid who has this hat, and his hat ends up being opening portals to other worlds. And he has this old, like, weird bird guy named Virgil that's kind of like the smart one. And then he has a protector named Norman who has to protect the Cap Bear. That's what they call him. It's a lot like Lord of the Rings. Like, you know what I'm saying? This was definitely probably inspired by the Lord of the Rings books and the old Hobbit movie that came out back in the day. But shout out to Mighty Max. Coming in at number 3, Beast Wars, dog. I still think Beast Wars is the best Transformers cartoon ever made. I do. I still think it's the best one. This show had the best story, best voice acting, the best, like, the fights were good. And, like, even if you go back and watch it, the CGI is not horrible. It doesn't age super well, but it doesn't look as bad as you would think for something that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
And some of the coolest characters, too, like Optimus Primal was, man, such a dope
How long did it take you to
character.
figure out that was a different character than Optimus Prime?
Oh, it took a long time.
Same.
because they were straight up calling the Predacons were straight up calling him Megatron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like I was like, okay, well that must just be Optimus Prime.
Yep.
It took me forever to realize it was a completely different character.
I didn't really learn it until like maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So Beast Wars is so good. Dinobot, Rat Trap, and Cheetor, just some really dope characters. Really, the toys were fire. I don't know if you remember, this is kind of a deep cut. When they first came out with the Optimus Primal toy, remember he was like what was he? He was like a spider or something. He wasn't even a gorilla yet.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, because they dropped toys before the show came out.
I do remember. Oh yeah, I do. I remember.
And they
the
were
toys
like
dropped.
weird, like they weren't what they were in the.
And they almost
the
seemed like they were
cartoon.
off-brand. Kind
Yeah, they weren't what they were in the show. But shout out to Beast Wars. Coming in at number 2, X-Men. X-Men coming in at number 2. Look, man. X-Men's the GOAT. Okay, this isn't. I just switched it around so I can put something else at number 1. But X-Men's the GOAT, dog. I used to get ridiculed by my house because I would tape over movies with X-Men episodes. And me, my brother, my stepsister, I will never forget this. Watching Bebe's Kids was like a thing that we used to do all the time on the weekends. We used to get pizza and we would watch Bebe's Kids when I was a kid. And I had been waiting so long for the next episode and the Days of Future Past one. So it was the Cable, you know what I'm talking about? And they took forever to show the new one.
Cable and wait, so there's 2.
There's 2 of them.
And there's Days of Future Past, and then there's the one with Bishop.
I think that's the one I was waiting for. Was the Bishop one?
Yep.
And because Bishop was coming to assassinate the guy who made the vaccine for what was it? Yeah, for the mutants.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was that one. And I was waiting so long for them to show the next one. They showed it and I just got excited and recorded it. Dog, I recorded over Baby's Kids. So we're sitting down watching this movie.
Oh, and it just comes
to X-Men. And everybody, they all looked at me. Like nobody, they looked at anybody else. They looked at me and I was just like, what?
Right.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
let's just watch this. This is cool.
Hilarious. One of my best moments as a kid. And Toy Biz, GOAT toy line. Shout out to this show. It's amazing. But my number 1 is gonna be Exo-Squad, man.
This is ridiculous. What are we doing?
This cartoon is amazing. These toys are amazing. So I actually went back, watched this whole show over this past week. And this is a show, man. I used to watch this in the morning before school. This at Mighty Max with my brother. Some of the sweetest toys ever. But this show, man, is so good. And it's crazy because like this show was killing main characters. Like
yeah,
it was pretty edgy, man. Like it's a good show. I explained it last week. It's just about the humans and these aliens called Neo-Sapiens, and the humans actually created them so they could terraform like other planets for humans to live on, and then the humans ended up enslaving them, and then the aliens revolted, and they just been fighting this war for like 50 years. That's what the show's about. These characters are fire. They use these mechs called E-forms to fight with in the war. And the show, the characters are fire. Like it's got some really sweet characters in it. But the thing that's crazy to me is that this show ends on a gigantic cliffhanger, and they never finished it. You know what I'm saying?
And there was never any like movie or anything.
Never anything else. So that is weak. But my number one's gonna be Exo-Squad. My son's been he loves it too. I showed it to him, and we just been kind of watching that lately. But that's my list, man. Shout out to Exo-Squad's got some fire characters. My favorite is this dude named Alec. My other favorite is a girl named Rita. She has like her mech suit's got like a energy sword in it. It's fire. But the show is good, man. That's my top 10. Number 10, Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Number 9, Batman the Animated Series. Number 8, SWAT Cats. Number 7, Bucky O'Hare. Number 6, Spider-Man. Number 5, Pirates of Darkwater. Number 4, Mighty Max. Number 3, Beast Wars, man. Number 2, X-Men. And number 1, Exo-Squad. Hey, man, but we know X-Men's the real number 1 here. Exo-Squad's number 2. I just had to switch them around. But let's
just
go,
so
man.
You can give me a heart attack. I
just
worked out, bro. Be careful.
So I can make Hero mad. Let's go, man. 90s cartoons. GOAT era for animation.
This man is going to make me go into cardiac arrest. I literally just worked out for like an hour, and then he made my heart drop into my stomach. Like,
hey,
fuck.
Man. Shout out to Exo-Squad. Extreme Dinosaurs.
Dog.
Remember Extreme Dinosaurs?
That shit was hilarious.
Extreme Dinosaurs.
I love the 90s like hair metal guy that did every theme song.
Oh my
Extreme Dinosaurs.
Because they all sounded the same.
Same,
sure.
dog.
Hey, man, thank y'all for listening. Go watch Ahsoka, and we're going to wait patiently for Rebel Moon to drop because, oh, my God, this movie looks amazing. All right, y'all. Peace.
Rebel Moon.
Bro, that shit look.